Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for a special Alaska Cunard webinar. My name is Danielle, and I'm the Trade Relations Specialist here at CLIA. I'd like to just quickly go through some housekeeping before we start before I introduce our presenter today. The webinar will run about 40 minutes, and we will have some time at the end for Q&A. All questions can be entered into the questions module that you can find on your GoToWebinar tab, and we will get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar will also be recorded, and we will upload it to our YouTube channel, which is at CLIA Global. So with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter today, Gloria Mills. Gloria is the Business Development Manager at Cunard. She works in the National Accounts Department, developing business, creating marketing plans and initiatives through consortia headquarters, educating network members through dedicated webinars and presentations at industry conferences. She has almost 30 years experience on the agency side of the industry and has started her career as an associate to a franchise owner, then taking her position selling cruises for a startup company that became one of the first to market cruises on the internet. Since then, she has taken on leadership roles in sales and performance management, training, business development, and finally marketing before joining Cunard 15 years ago. So with that, Gloria, whenever you are ready, please take it away.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for your kind attention today. I want to share with you something that I am personally very, very passionate about, and that is Alaska as a travel destination. So Danielle's right. I started my career many years ago as a frontline sales agent, and I had a very, very smart business development manager walk in my door one day and said, I'm going to teach you how to sell Alaska. And I want to tell you, gang, I've been walking it to the bank for the past 30 years. If you're selling cruises, Alaska is definitely something that you want to be very well versed in, and it should be a big part of your portfolio. When I first started selling cruises years ago, Alaska was pretty much a very short booking cycle. We sold it pretty much the same way. There was very little variety with product back then. And we found that Alaska was kind of a one and done for most people, but not anymore. Things have changed so much, and I want to share with you how Cunard can give you a unique experience for your clients in Alaska. So what's the number one reason why everybody's got Alaska on their bucket list? Well, it's an overwhelming glaciers. Every year when folks are polled, the results come back the same. Glaciers are number one. And some folks are telling me that they're feeling a little sense of urgency to get up there and see these glaciers. Not to worry, there are still wonderful opportunities for glacier viewing, even though we are experiencing some melting. But that being said, it's very valuable to understand why people are motivated to go to Alaska, and then to be able to present that itinerary or that vacation package that is going to fit beautifully with what they want to experience while they're there. And that's really all about Alaska, right? It's the experience. What am I going to do when I get there? And there are many experiences that you can only see and do in Alaska. So up on your screen now is a beautiful picture of Hubbard Glacier. This is one of those beautiful brochure shots, and folks are looking very, very much forward to seeing Hubbard Glacier. Why is Hubbard Glacier so important? Because it's really big, it's advancing, and that makes it very active. And so Hubbard Glacier delivers, right, on the wow moments when clients are face-to-face on board the ship with this magnificent glacier. It's 2 miles wide, it's hundreds of feet thick, it's 76 miles long. It is an impressive opportunity for your clients. The other reason that folks are so interested in the glaciers in Alaska is Glacier Bay National Park. Now, while Hubbard is growing in size, Glacier Bay National Park is actually shrinking very rapidly, but it has been for hundreds of years. When the Europeans first mapped out the coastline of Alaska, the glaciers were all the way to the sea. But in the past 300 years or so, we've been seeing glacial recession that is actually unprecedented on our planet. So this is a really wonderful opportunity for your clients to see what it looks like underneath the glacier. What happens to the land as it recovers and bounces back from the weight of the ice. This also is a really, really unique opportunity, and there are so many glaciers in Glacier Bay. It's also, of course, feeding ground for humpback whales and many other of the big wildlife that the clients are going to Alaska to see. And so the first thing I always did when I was looking up an itinerary for a guest was to see what the glaciers were on that itinerary and then build around that. So why am I making such a big deal about this? Well, because only on Cunard do we give you Glacier Bay National Park and Hubbard Glacier on our itineraries. Now, Hubbard Glacier is available as a second glacial viewing opportunity on most itineraries. And I say most because there are a couple that do go into College Fjord and there are a couple that go into Tracy Arm. But do be acutely aware of when you can offer your clients these longer itineraries that by design give your clients 2 glacier cruising experiences, and one of them will be Glacier Bay. So on this slide here, you can see our full deployment in 2020. We will begin sailing on June the 2nd. Our last voyage departs on August the 29th. These voyages are round trip Vancouver. So we're starting your clients out in the middle of the Inside Passage in a fabulous jewel of a city, and we'll get to how you can extend your stay shortly. But on our deployment, we will have 2 9-night itineraries, 5 10-night itineraries, an 11, a 12, a 13, and you can combine them to make even longer voyages. Now, again, these longer itineraries by design are going to give your clients more ports. We'll offer 6 ports on every one of our itineraries. Your clients, again, are looking for those unique opportunities to do Alaska only experiences, knowing where the dog sledding is, knowing where the good fishing is, right? Knowing where the best wildlife viewing opportunities are and whale watching. These are going to add to your strength and add to your value when selling Alaska. And it's not just about more ports, it's about more port time. At Cunard, we don't rush things. We like to take a full day in every port of call, and we are the only cruise line that is offering a full day in Victoria. That is so popular with our guests. And of course, Victoria, with its British heritage, is a very Cunardy destination. And lastly, rail extensions. We partner with Rocky Mountaineer for 3, 4, and 5-night pre and post cruise adventures from Calgary to Vancouver or reverse. So this is a really, really great opportunity for your clients to do something different. If they've never been to Alaska before, this one journey will give it to them all. And if they've been before and they realize maybe they didn't spend enough time, this one journey will get back all of those experiences that they may feel that they missed. Glacier Bay National Park, again, the crown jewel of all of our itineraries. There is limited ship access into Glacier Bay. The Park Service allows only a certain number of vessels into Glacier Bay every year, and we were lucky enough to be able to get the opportunity to take your valued clients into this pristine wilderness. Hubbard Glacier, again, the one that everybody wants to see, and we have unique opportunities for your clients to see Hubbard Glacier. One of the really exciting things that guests told me they enjoyed this year was disembarking our Queen Elizabeth onto a smaller boat that then took them up much closer to the face of the glacier. Those types of experiences are available only on Cunard. The itineraries, again, very robust. Your clients are looking for as many ports and as many hours in port as they can. This is a great example of one of our Inside Passage cruises, 10 nights in length. Again, we're sailing round trip Vancouver. We're catching all of the big 4 ports of call, including Juneau, Ketchikan, Skagway, and Sitka. our 2 glaciers that we've been reviewing, and also that full day in Victoria. This is really a beautiful itinerary. Again, we offer 5 of these, 10 nights in length. However, our most popular itinerary is our 12-night voyage. We do this one time. It sails in July, right in the height of the season. And you can see here that this itinerary is different because it goes all the way up into the south central coastline, calling in Anchorage, Kodiak, and Seward. So the second glacier viewing opportunity here will be College Fjord. College Fjord is also rapidly receding, and it is part of the Prince William Sound area. So this area here is teeming with marine wildlife and a really great opportunity for your clients to visit Kodiak, Seward by shore excursion, and have a day in Anchorage as well. So marine wildlife viewing and even bear viewing will be high on people's lists for this itinerary. Now, our experience is uniquely tailored for Alaska. For example, you may be familiar that Cunard maintains an air of formality, and we enjoy our gala evenings. Well, instead of 3 gala evenings for Alaska, we're only going to do 2 because we know that this is a more casual destination, and we've created a new gala ball called our Ice White Ball that guests can only enjoy in Alaska. In addition, some of these unique shoreside experiences, you may know that the White Pass Railroad in Skagway is one of your client's most favorite shore activities, and only Cunard offers a champagne experience in luxury class. We definitely know how to keep the style, even in an adventure destination like Alaska. Also, only on Cunard, a culture heritage guide on every voyage. We have Native American storytellers and elders who will interact with your clients and really bring Alaska to life for them from that cultural perspective. We're also adding new menu items and an Alaska-inspired afternoon tea. Now, we also, in addition to our native elders and other naturalists and storytellers, we are bringing on board some of the top explorers, naturalists, and other adventurers that are available to us to really bring your clients into a unique learning opportunity. Alaska is a journey for the mind as well as for the body. And these folks are absolutely the best in their field. And so they will make themselves available for talks and social interaction with your clients as well. Frankly, this Mountaineer fella here, I really don't care what he does, but you can book me on his voyage anytime. The ship we're using in Alaska is Queen Elizabeth. She is the perfect ship for Alaska. She is big enough, but she's not too big. Queen Elizabeth is approximately 91,000 tons. She carries about 2,100 guests if she's full. And she is big enough to offer your clients many of the facilities and amenities that a Cunard guest is interested in traveling with, but she's also not so big that she doesn't overwhelm the ports or overwhelm your guests while they're sailing. Our experience on board is a refined social atmosphere. Again, there are lots of very well-traveled people who are looking for not only wonderful things to do when they get to Alaska, but they want to learn about the destination as well. Our ports of call, again, we're catching all of them. All of the big 4 on the inside passage: Juneau, Skagway, Ketchikan, Sitka, and we'll also call in Icy Strait Point on some itineraries. Some include Prince Rupert. We also have that popular itinerary I shared with you that heads all the way up into the southeast. And most of our itineraries will call in Victoria. Not everyone. Please, please, everyone, check your itinerary and availability before you sell your clients on any one. If it's not available or you can't get the stateroom or the suite that your clients really want, then you've kind of boxed yourself into a corner. But because we do things so differently and we are not repetitive in our itineraries, it's always a word to the wise to check first. Now, it's getting more and more crowded in Alaska. We keep seeing news about the record numbers of visitors over the past few years, and it's really hard to get into port on non-crowded port days. But again, those longer itineraries that are not repetitive give us the opportunity to be in port when there are few, if any, other ships in those ports of call. I've done my homework here, and there are very, very few days on our deployment that I would say are crowded. What good does it do to sail in Alaska on a very small ship only to find thousands and thousands of people in port? So Cunard carefully crafts its itineraries to make sure that your clients have the best experience, both on board the ship and in the ports of call. And again, plenty of time in port. Your clients want to indulge their personal passions. It could be wildlife photography. It could be something more a little active, like kayaking down a glacier river, flight seeing over the glaciers, dog sledding or dog mushing, and of course, riding the rails. Find out what your client's personal passions are and present this carefully curated itinerary to hit those hot buttons. Now, our Cunard Insights program is our onboard program that brings together all of the authors, the experts that I mentioned to you. This is an award-winning program. We are very, very happy to continue to receive acclaim from our guests and industry awards for the quality of our onboard programming. And your clients can learn everything about Alaska, from the wildlife, the scenery and the natural history. Of course, the Native American history and culture fares very, very big with their on their bucket list as well. Learning about the landscapes and the fragile ecosystems. This is one place where I would say take the kids on Cunard. We are not a family first cruise line. However, because it's summertime and because the kids are out of school, this gives us an opportunity to share with young people in only Cunard style how they can then come home and translate what they've learned into something bigger and better for all of us. And of course, we'll offer fishing, cooking demonstrations, wine tastings, and more. So it is a very, very stylish kind of experience. We have a full complement of shore excursions as well. These can be booked once your clients have made their reservation. They can be booked through the Voyage Personalizer on Cunard.com. I highly recommend whale watching in Juneau, dog sledding adventure by helicopter also in Juneau. The town of Skagway is best known for its White Pass Railroad and its Gold Rush history, which is great fun. Also, when you're in Ketchikan, think about totem poles and the native culture. And of course, Sitka is known best for its Russian heritage. Our ports of call and shore excursions give your clients the full range of history, culture, and experience that Alaska has to offer. And we have these longer itineraries that I mentioned as well, where you can combine two of our voyages for up to 19 nights sailing round trip Vancouver with very little repetition. The one I want to call attention to, though, is our 13-night voyage from Vancouver to San Francisco. Here, your clients will overnight on board in San Francisco for Independence Day. And if you or your clients are looking for a taste of Cunard, the Vancouver to San Francisco portion is 3 nights and it is being sold separately. The San Francisco to Vancouver portion is 4 nights and it is being sold separately, or you can do the full round trip Vancouver to San Francisco for 7 nights. But let me mention, these are not Alaska itineraries. These are coastal ports of call, beautiful nonetheless, but we do want to manage the expectation that those are not Alaska deployment. But we have a unique opportunity there I want to call to your attention. Now, how can you extend the stay? Well, if your clients are interested in spending time in Vancouver, we do offer 2 beautiful hotels that are in keeping with the style of the Cunard voyage, the Pan Pacific and the Rosewood Hotel Georgia, which is part of our flagship collection. You can also extend the adventure with Rocky Mountaineer, as I had previously mentioned. We're offering 3, 4, and 5-night pre and post rail extensions between Calgary and Vancouver. Your clients will be able to do daylight travel through the Rockies for 2 nights, and the rest of the time will be spent in Vancouver. So for example, on the 3-night voyage, there's 1 night in Vancouver. On the 4-night voyage, there are 2 nights, and then on the 5-night, there were 3 nights. So it may not be necessary to both add to your client's hotel stay in Vancouver and extend on Rocky. Now, the Rocky Mountaineer itinerary is called the First Passage to the West. It is their most popular itinerary, and this can only be booked through Cunard. So let me mention that if you do contact Rocky Mountaineer, they will not be aware of what we are offering there. This is an add-on that is available only through Cunard. It is a modified First Passage to the West, so it is a custom itinerary just for our guests, and we will rail them in gold leaf service, and that is a perfect brand marriage for Cunard's unique vacation experience at sea. See, we have more in common with the world's most landmark hotels and legendary rail journeys than we do with other cruise lines. Our cruise line maintains a tradition, a set of refined social atmosphere, and a set of fine dining and fabulous industry firsts that only are available to you, your clients on Cunard. So it is a perfect brand marriage for the hotels that we offer, as well as the Rocky Mountaineer rail voyage. So let's take a look at who sails with Cunard. Let's meet our guests. We have defined 4 different key types of guests, and I'd like to share with you a little bit of the demographic and the psychographic information about, first of all, Cunarders. These are people who have sailed with us before. They are generally average age 62. Most of them are retired. Most of them are well educated, well traveled, and are, again, looking not only for what they're going to do when they get to a new destination, but they're looking for a journey of the mind. They want to learn new things, and they're very independent. So having an overly scheduled itinerary is not necessarily appealing to them. But let me share with you the information on the bottom right. 24% of our past guests book their next voyage a year or a little more than a year in advance of travel. And they average 11 nights in length. So you can see our Alaska itineraries are actually perfect for our past guests. And that's why we're back in Alaska after 22 years. They wanted to go back to Alaska or to go to Alaska for the first time, and they wanted to do it on Cunard. Now, you've also got some folks on your list that have cruised before, and they've been happy with their cruises, but maybe they're looking for something a little different. Maybe they want it less crowded. Maybe they want a more refined social environment. They want a little bit more quiet. They're looking for vacations that help them to experience a level of luxury that they don't always enjoy at home, right? These folks are generally a little younger. They're usually about 55. Many of them are still working, but travel for them is more of an entitlement, right? The affluent baby boomers think of travel as a way to connect themselves with a bigger world. And you can see here that these folks who have cruised before will also be willing to book much farther in advance and sail on a longer itinerary. Our third group are folks who have never been on a cruise, but they would absolutely love us. There have been many times in my career when I've booked someone on a first cruise, and it was a luxury travel experience. So just because they're considering their first cruise doesn't mean that we have to put them on the big lines that offer the more repetitive and more family-friendly atmosphere. They're looking for something that is a lot more sophisticated. Cunard will fit the bill. There are many people in North America who have never been on a cruise. And would you believe that up to 50% of cruisers in Alaska are now on their first voyage? That is a huge change from 20 or even 25 years ago, when cruising was one of the last things that folks did, and they were one and done. Folks who are well-traveled will love Cunard because they'll be sailing with like-minded people in a very sophisticated setting. And lastly, there are just those folks who want the very best everywhere they go and everything they do. They are, again, maybe wealthy, but they're also affluent. Their attitude is that they deserve the best and they are willing to travel to fulfill their personal passions. They are they're driven by a desire to be surrounded by new experiences and people who can help them to bring that experience to life in new ways, such as our naturalists and our explorers. Now, with that in mind, our accommodations are very, very spacious and comfortable. Here is a standard balcony stateroom on board our Queen Elizabeth, and you can see it is a very large accommodation with a very large balcony. Most of the accommodation on Queen Elizabeth will be our balcony categories, but let's not forget about our suites. Clients who deserve the best and expect the best are often willing to pay a little bit more to get great value. And you can always be certain that you will be offering your clients the best value because Cunard has a unique combinability of offers. So for example, our open market promotions are called limited time offers. Many times you'll find that we're offering amenities in balcony categories, and we always offer free drinks and gratuities in our grill suites. We also combine that with your past guest savings, your groups. So if you have an affinity group, some open promo group space, or you belong to a consortia that takes out headquarter group space for you, those customer-facing amenities will all combine. Plus cruise sales. This is one of the most underutilized marketing and sales opportunities Cunard offers. We will offer your clients a reduced deposit that is refundable, an onboard credit in ocean view categories and higher. The higher up you buy, the more your shipboard credit will be, and a bonus commission for you in all balcony categories and higher. I apologize, there's a typo there. It's balcony categories and higher. Cruise sales are free to you to open. You can do it over the phone with our reservations team, or you can do it in Polar. This is a great opportunity for you to jumpstart group bookings, to jumpstart a new promotional window, or even do a last call to close out a promotional window. Still combinable, our military benefit. Our military benefit is not rate code driven. It is a gift that we offer our clients for their service, and we will offer shipboard credit for retired and active members of the military in the United States, Canada, the UK, and Australia, plus onboard bookings. Onboard bookings also offer your clients a reduced deposit and shipboard credit. All of these things are combinable with our non-restricted limited time offers. This unique opportunity helps you to display more hard dollar value to your clients, and the higher up you buy, the more value you get. So I highly recommend that you start with that beautiful balcony stateroom I showed you, and it makes it a very, very easy sell to get into our lowest level suites categories. Free drinks and gratuities in the grill suites are a great value. Free drinks are valued at $70 per person per day. So if your guests bought the drink package, they would get a value of $70 per person per day for all alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. And the gratuities in the suites are $13.50 per person per day. And that covers both the concierge and the butler in the Queen's Grill suites as well. You can let Cunard handle all of the arrangements. We have fantastic air prices. Carnival Corporation is the largest global consumer of air travel, and as a Carnival Corp cruise line, Cunard is able to take advantage of low prices on air travel. You can book both restricted and unrestricted fares through our complete air portal. We also encourage onboard bookings. There's no easier way for you to get a booking than while you're sleeping, while your clients are having a wonderful time on board their voyage. If they pay a visit to the onboard booking agent, they will help to close that sale, give them their amenities, and that booking comes straight back to you as well. We also have a free asset bank. All of the images that I showed you in this webinar came out of our asset bank. This is free to you. There's a click-through through OneSource. You do have to register and be approved. It takes a couple of days, but this is a wonderful opportunity for you to pull the latest images, both for destinations and ships, as well as our lifestyle images that show folks enjoying themselves on board. So if you're creating flyers, or you need a photo for a Facebook post, or you are creating a little webinar presentation, if you will, for consumers or for your office, this is the perfect place to download those images. And everything that you need to sell Cunard is on OneSource. You'll see we have a long list of topics over here in the gray nav bar on the top left. Sales and marketing and destination and marketing tools are where you'll find all of the details about the sales programs that I mentioned to you, including groups and cruise sales. And in sales and marketing, you will also find all of the backup for our limited time offers as well. So you'll get the full sailing list of applicable voyages, as well as the amenities for each guest. These backup tools and promotional tools are available on OneSource in the form of customizable flyers. You can also download not just the images, but you can order brochures as well. So we give you all of the free tools to be able to put a campaign together. I know that your local BDM would be very excited to talk to you about an Alaska campaign right now that can include all of these free advantages. And lastly, Cunard Academy. Cunard Academy is a great way to learn a little bit more about Cunard, and we have modules that are specific to Alaska. So if you'd like to get started with a couple of the little short 15 to 20 minute modules that will help you to speak to the Cunard experience and tack down all those talking points for Alaska, you can get started right here. We want you to follow us on Facebook, our Vice President, Steve Smotries, at Cunard NAM Sales. You'll get all the tips and the tricks. You'll get some gossip and other fun things. This is a great way to stay up with what's going on in the world of Cunard. We have a lot of special event voyages that we will portray here. And you can see we have a little post there about our recent fashion voyage. And more than that, you'll want to know when our promotions are changing, and you'll want to learn about our new ship. There will be some teasers coming out about our new ship that's due in 2022. I just want to thank you all for your time today. Everything that you do to help your clients to fulfill their travel dreams. Cunard would like to be part of that conversation when you are selling Alaska, and we are here to help you. So please let me know how I can help you, or if I can connect you with your local business development manager. Again, my name is Gloria Mills, and I'm at gmills@cunard.com. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Gloria. So I think we do have some time for Q&A. And I did see a couple of questions come through during the presentation.
Okay.
So the first one is from Elizabeth, and she is wondering if you have kids clubs and or special activities for kids on any of the ships.
We do, and I'm really glad you asked that question, because I did mention that we are not your first choice for families because of our longer itineraries primarily. But we do have a kids program. It is not going to be as large and stratified as you'll find on the Family First lines. However, we do take children, and even little babies. We have proper British nannies available to care for them while your clients are dancing at the ice white ball. So we do want you to bring the kids, because I feel like we have a very, very unique learning opportunity for kids. And you know what? Kids love Cunard. They love dressing up. They love dancing. They love the only in Alaska experiences that we can offer. So please bring the whole family. This is a great opportunity for grandparents who love Cunard to introduce their kids to something meaningful, and this is a great way to celebrate with your multi-generational families as well. I do want to make a mention, though. We have 4 different classes of service on board our ships. We have Britannia, Britannia Club, the Princess Grill Suites, and the Queen's Grill Suites. It is a tradition from decades ago that each class of service has its own primary dining venue. So if you do have more than one stateroom or suite, please make sure that you are booking your guests all in the same class of service so that there are no issues with them dining together. Thanks for your question.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so our next question comes from Christina, and she is wondering if agents are able to use images from Cunard social media, such as Facebook and Instagram.
The images that we're posting there come from Asset Bank. So the way to get them is through that free Asset Bank that I mentioned to you. There is a click-through on OneSource, and I will be happy to help you find that. If you want to send me a quick email, gmills@cunard.com. I will answer you this week and help you get registered. That Asset Bank is truly what I rely on to do my job. And before I prepare anything that I'm going to put out in front of customers, I always like to check in there and see if there's a new image or a better image than the one I've been using. There are some really, really beautiful images in there, again, of our ships, our accommodation and our lifestyle on board, as well as our destinations and our special events as well. So I would love to point you toward Asset Bank.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so Elizabeth actually did have a follow-up question. She is wondering if you can help differentiate the grill suite levels.
Yes, thank you. So why do we call our suites grills, right? People ask me that all the time, and I'll share with you really quick. Like with all things at Cunard, there is a page in the history book that explains it all. Years and years ago, we came out with the first ship with a fine dining venue, and it was called the Veranda Grill. And back in those days, grill was synonymous with fine dining, and it became verbal shorthand for folks in the suites. That's why we maintain the tradition of calling our suites grills. We have 2 levels. We have Princess Grill and we have Queen's Grill. Queens outrank Princess, so they're going to be the bigger suites. And the Princess suites are going to range around 450 square feet. They come with concierge service. They're beautifully appointed, and guests will be dining in the Princess Grill restaurant. Our Queen's Grill suites are much larger. They can range anywhere from 600 all the way up to some ridiculous, 1,000 square feet. Our Queen's Grill suites also come with butler service as well. So because our itineraries are long and folks do tend to string them together and stay on board for sometimes weeks or even months at a time, I always like to take a kind of the tack that I'm selling a piece of vacation real estate, right? The longer that my client is on board the ship, the more important that accommodation will become, and the more important those amenities and those services will become. Your clients who are looking for the best of everything will find it in the Queen's Grill. If they are looking for the club does kind of bridge the gap between our standard accommodation and our suites. So the Britannia Club is an oversized room with an oversized balcony with more amenities in the stateroom. And it also comes with its own primary dining venue called the Britannia Club. So you can see Queen's Grill guests dine in Queen's Grill, Princess Grill guests dine in Princess Grill, Britannia Club guests dine in Britannia Club. It's impossible to mess this up. And our Britannia level is our standard interior ocean view and balcony staterooms where guests will dine in Britannia, which is our large dining room, 2 stories, big tables, really impressive. Again, please book multi-stateroom groups, guests and groups in the same class of service so that there are no issues with them dining together. I hope that helps.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so this next question is from Gary, and he is wondering, and I'm guessing this is a reference to an earlier slide, but he's asking, is the train ride a get on and off trip?
So we talked about 2 train rides. One of them is a shore excursion called the White Pass Railroad, which is available to your guests in the port of call Skagway. And this rail it's like a half-day rail journey. It will take you up the mountain or down the mountain, or you can do round trip if you really want to spend more time on the train. But usually one direction is enough for folks. The other rail voyage that we discussed is extending your adventure by tacking on a 3, 4, or 5 night pre or post cruise extension on Rocky Mountaineer. And please let me know if you have a follow-up question to that answer.
Perfect. Okay, so this next one is from Kelly, and she says, I sailed on the 4th of July sailing from New York and loved it. Do you know if you will have any Black Friday promotions on this sailing? She has interested clients who have asked.
Probably, right? Most of our crossing dates are on most of our short-term sales. So while our limited time offers are generally about 45 to 90 days in length, we do offer short-term sales over holidays. We just wrapped up a Labor Day sale. There will more than likely be one coming up here this fall, and then we'll always have a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. But I do want to caution you, the best value for your clients is going to be using our limited time offers and all of the combinability that I shared with you on the screen. Your limited time offers will combine with groups, they'll combine with your cruise sale, they'll also combine with past guest, military, and onboard bookings. Our short-term sales exclude those values. And so a lot of times folks will go, oh, the rate came down for my clients, and they'll call up and they'll change the rate code on the booking and not realize that they may have to give up some very, very important values. So please use our limited time offers whenever you can to get the best value and that combinability and the most amenities for your clients. Short-term sales offer great low prices, but they come with non-refundable deposits and very few, if any, amenities. So just be a little cautious before you call your clients up and say, hey, the rate went down on your vacation. Check it out first, see what they're going to have to give up to get the lower rate, and make sure they're okay with it. Sometimes they are, and sometimes I have an advisor come to me with their tail between their legs, and there's not a whole lot I can do at that point, and it gets real tricky with the client. So we want to avoid that kind of disruption.
That is excellent advice. Okay, so I don't think we have any other further questions. I didn't know if you have anything else to add here.
I'll give one more piece of booking advice while I'm at it, because you're reminding me of all the things that I hear myself saying over and over again. When you are pricing a Cunard voyage, please hold the stateroom or the suite. Please put it under option, even if it's only for a couple of days. We only have 3 ships. I know we've got a big name, but we're a little cruise line. And we don't repeat itineraries. Even the Alaska itineraries are surprisingly non-repetitive. So all of those 10-night itineraries do have something a little different about them, and it could simply mean the order of the ports. Because we don't repeat itineraries and we have so much global competition for our staterooms and suites, if you do not hold that stateroom, you will run the risk of losing it. So please follow your own good advice and hold that stateroom while you get the rest of your client's vacation together to guarantee that the amenities that you are quoting them do in fact apply, and that the stateroom number that you've so carefully selected for them does not get away from them. Remember, the best staterooms always go first, and if you're using automation, you know they're brought up in a list. The one on the top is usually deemed to be the most desirable. And so there's a lot of competition for those 7 or 10 staterooms that appear on your rate options screen through your automation. So please, use good judgment when you're selling Cunard with respect to holding those staterooms and making sure they are in those same categories, and your clients will thank you for it. I will share one quick story. I met an advisor who, at a conference recently, who had some clients who like to sail on lines like Norwegian and Royal Caribbean. And she had an appointment with me and she said, my clients are on board Cunard in Alaska right now and I'm really nervous. And I asked her why. And she said because they've never done anything like Cunard before. And she didn't want them to feel that they were not sailing with folks like them. So I said to her, well, why don't you just get in touch with them and see how things are going? And she got scared. She said, well, if there's anything wrong, they'll call me when they get home. And I tried to encourage her to go ahead and check in with them now, right? Not only to put her concerns at ease, but if there was anything that needed to be corrected, we have time to do that, right? If there's anything on board that we needed to do for them. She came back to me a couple of hours later. She found me at lunch and she had her phone in her hand. It was a picture of her clients standing in front of Glacier Bay next to the rail of the ship. And they said, in the comment they wrote her, this is what we've always wanted. They were happier on Cunard than they'd ever been on the other cruise lines that they had sailed. They finally found the one for them. So if you've never sold Cunard, you owe it to yourself to add Cunard to your portfolio. And because we're a small cruise line and because we roam the globe, we're a little hard for your clients to find sometimes. So check us out. Make that recommendation. If you make a recommendation to your clients and they take it, you both win. So thank you again for your support of our brand and your interest in learning more about it.
Thank you so much. I think that is the perfect way to wrap this presentation up. I do also want to thank you as well, Gloria, for your time and your advice. And also thank you to everyone on the line for joining us today.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thanks everyone. Bye for now.